Fire Princess Reviews. I'm Fire Princess Silly, here to talk to you about comics, cartoons, and other awesome nerd shit. So, last week, or the last video, I said we would talk about Cobra Kai, the new YouTube Red series, and that's totally what we're going to talk about today. Makes a lot of sense to talk about this on YouTube, not so much on Breach TV, where all the videos also get uploaded to, but we're going to talk about it anyway, because I thought it was really good, and, there's a lot of neat, interesting things. But before we do that, we're going to talk about something you might have missed. That's right, this is always something that I'm checking out that I think other people would be really into if they knew it existed. So, here we go. My suggestion to you is a manga called As Miss Beelzebub Likes. It's a story about Beelzebub and her attendant and kind of the shenanigans that they get into. It's really silly, funny, super cute. Beelzebub is super obsessed with cute and fluffy things, and it's just really interesting how the characters are nothing like what you would imagine them to be. So definitely check it out. It's As Miss Beelzebub Likes. It's pretty good. I really enjoyed it. It's a surprise. Well, not really a surprise, but it's pretty neat. Regardless of surprise or not. So, moving on, we have Cobra Kai. It's a new YouTube Red series. Now, my opinion of the series has evolved since we last spoke about it. Well, since I last mentioned it in the other video, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. How did I feel about the series overall? I liked it. I liked it a whole lot for a lot of different reasons. And then I kind of found out that it wasn't really a YouTube-started project. It was a pitched idea to TV channels like AMC, to streaming services like Netflix, and YouTube apparently outbid all of them to snag it, which is weird. It's super weird because YouTube Red's supposed to be about user-created content, and this is not. So there's that. I don't think that was a good play by YouTube. I would have much rather seen it on any other streaming service in that case, and not YouTube Red, where you have to pay for a additional monthly bonus to access that content in particular. It just seems odd for the site as a whole to do that. But be that as it may, even though I don't agree with the decision, I did watch the whole thing before I knew that, and I'll probably even watch the second season because I'm really invested in what the characters are doing. So maybe that was a good marketing play for YouTube, but I don't think it was a good play in general. It's not really on brand for them, so to speak. So, yeah. So that's my 2 cents on that. I would have rather seen it on a different service, but it is what it is, so here we go. So, Cobra Kai, for those of you who didn't know, not checked it out, because there are some people who haven't heard of it, is a continuation of the Karate Kid, like 30 years later or so, after the events of the first movie, where Daniel wins the All-Valley Karate Championship, and what's going on now, today, the present. And really, it follows the story of Johnny Lawrence, the Cobra Kai who Daniel faced at the end of the tournament and kicked in the face. And won. So, so it's like, where's his life gone? And honestly, not well. Maybe it likes to allude to the fact that maybe losing the tournament set his entire life into some kind of a weird spiral of depression and misery. We find out that not only has he been married and had a kid, he's divorced and he's not really in that child's life. He drinks all the time. He's a maintenance man. He gets fired in the first episode because, of course, so, yeah. So that's what Johnny Lawrence is going through. That's his life. He basically is down on his luck, goes to a convenience store, buys a slice of pizza. He's a total dick about it. Like, this guy, okay. If I have to rate the characters, Johnny, we're supposed to root for him because he's the main character, but he is a dick. He is a total asshole. And, well, I mean, he does eventually grow and get kind of better. He starts to realize, people are counting on him more or less, but that kind of goes, it's so, like, back and forth. It's a roller coaster of emotions and events that just shape up the entire season as a whole. And I'm trying not to spoil, the total events of the movie. But, I mean, we might get into some spoiler territory. So, there you go. Anyway, slice of pizza. That's where we were. As he's eating his slice of pizza in the parking lot of the convenience store. Not all convenience store pizza is bad, but I probably wouldn't have gotten pizza from this place. Just, it doesn't look like a good place for pizza. Anyway, as he's eating his pizza, a young guy starts getting picked on by kids in his high school. He, just moved there from wherever. It's very, oh, look, the new Ralph Macchio character, the new Daniel-san. And, Johnny is totally 100% okay with sitting back and letting this new kid get just the shit kicked out of him because it doesn't concern him. Until they, throw the kid against Johnny's car, and then they, do more things to his car, and then he kicks the shit out of all of them. So there's that. Also, still in the valley is Daniel-san himself. I forget his name. His last name. It's Daniel. Daniel LaRusso. Got it. Gets caught up a lot. His life has gone totally great. He owns several car dealerships. He has a big house, up in the hills. He's doing okay. And his life is good. And that's sort of where the differences are. In the first movie, Daniel was in, the slums kind of area of California. Not too bad, but not too great either. And Johnny was in, the rich kid country. And so their lives are totally, totally flipped. Daniel has his own kids, his wife. It's not the it's not the actress from the original movie playing his wife. It's not the same character. What's nice about the series is it does bring all the original cast to reprise their roles where it's important to do so. And I do appreciate that. I think that's a nice touch. Anyway, so Daniel's life is going good. Johnny's life is not going good. And so there's all this tension between them because they actually end up interacting quite a bit in the series, because of course they do. First, they interact when Johnny needs his car to get fixed up. He doesn't want to take him to LaRusso Motors, but it does anyway. He doesn't like Daniel because, he lost the tournament, and as to Daniel, and as such, his life is what it is. At least, when you hold on to that kind of a grudge, that's how it seems. And so throughout the series, we get to the point where Johnny's like, okay, I need to do something to make money. I know. I'll teach karate because I watched a movie that made me feel like I should, be using the talents that I learned, even if I did just get arrested for beating up a bunch of kids. They're in high school, being jerks, and he kicked the shit out of them. Got the cops called on him. Because of course he did. And so he takes the new kid and starts training him, and it doesn't go well at first, and eventually it gets better, and I don't want to really spoil how the series goes, but it's really interesting to see how the dynamics between Daniel and Johnny have shifted, because in the first movie, Cobra Kai is obviously the villain, and in this series, it's not kind of clear-cut who the bad guy is. They're both kind of jerks to each other. Daniel trying to get the rent raised on where the Cobra Kai dojo is now, and trying to stop them from competing in the tournament because he has his past grudge. In the meantime, Johnny is being a dick in other ways to Daniel, but he's also just trying to do his thing and stay out of Daniel's life because he doesn't like him. And in the middle of all this is Johnny's kid, who actually, well, I don't really want to spoil anything. I'm really trying really hard not to, but he gets centered in a way opposite to where it's interesting how it goes, because he doesn't like Johnny because Johnny wasn't there for him in his life. And so he tries to get close to Daniel, and it kind of works. Like, spoiler, sorry. I won't tell you how it goes from there, what happens from there. I'm just going to tell you it's a good series, and I enjoy the contrasts and the parallels between the original movie and the series. And honestly, a lot of interesting lessons get learned, and a lot of, like, at the very end of the series, there's like a big twist that I'm not going to tell you about because it's a huge twist, especially since they mentioned the person earlier in the series, and so it's a thing. So that might have actually kind of ended up a spoiler, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, that's it. That's Cobra Kai. Would I watch it again? Yes. Am I going to watch the second season if it happens? Yes. I think they've already confirmed it for a second season, so I'm not sure. So there you go. What are we going to talk about next time? I don't know. I don't. We'll come up with something, though. So, yeah. I'll figure it out before next time. You just tune in, watch it, and like it. So, that's it. How's the name change working out for y'all? Do you like it? I know that somebody did comment that they do think it's a good name change. What does everybody else think? Do you have any other suggestions, perhaps? I'm probably not going to change it again, but hey, I'd still like to hear from you. Anyway, I'm Fire Princess Lily. We'll talk next time about something nerdy. It'll be great. And yeah, until then, enjoy comics, enjoy cartoons, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.